Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Small Council, as I'm now calling these little videos. And if you watched my previous video that I made today, that was answering some questions from commenters and kind of giving a little bit more comments, about the North and that kind of stuff. I'm Open Blackfire, your host. Um, what I wanted to touch on more now was the White Walkers. Um, there's something that hasn't really been talked about in the books, and now the show has kind of created a glimpse into them a little bit. However, I don't think that the show is going to have the exact same thing as the books at all because so many things have already been changed. So, with the White Walkers, just on my theory of what they are, is I believe they're somewhat like the Valerians. The White Walkers were once a humanoid of some sort. I'm not going to say they were people because they don't display that kind of those attributes. But like the Valerians, they might have had they were humanoids that had access to magic, and and with this magic, as we saw in Valeria, it can go awry. It can destroy your whole society. Just like the Valerians made a whole empire out of fire. Well, what if these White Walkers are someone who made a whole empire out of ice, and the doom happened to them? And what if the wall? What if really the wall was something that helped stop the doom from coming further south? And that's what the wall was. When the White Walkers and their society, when the ice magic got too out of control, then Bran the Builder or the Night Watch or something, they're the ones that built the wall to help the ice doom, from coming further south and kind of keeping it north. Because in Valeria, we don't know what's there. We don't know. For all we know, there could be fire type of White Walkers. Because isn't that kind of what the priests of R'hllor are? Aren't they kind of like semi? You know what I mean? They can resurrect people. Those people aren't necessarily who they were. They're kind of more like monsters, and that kind of stuff. I find that there's definite similarities between the Valerians and kind of what maybe the White Walkers used to be, with like humanoids. Maybe they were an empire. Maybe they were like maybe they were kind of like elves. You know what I mean? They just danced too close to the magic, and then basically the magic overcame them. Because one interesting quote that I have from George R. R. Martin is because I also read the graphic novels, is that when he on the notes that he gave for the White Walkers, was he wanted them to look angelic, almost like too perfect. You know what I mean? Like inhumanly beautiful in certain ways. And that kind of stuff. Which is definitely not the way that they did that for the show, as they kind of look like corpses and ghouls and that kind of whole thing. But if you read the graphic novels, George R. R. Martin actually makes notes on what they're going to draw. So when I saw those notes of saying that he wanted them to look angelic, almost inhuman, like otherworldly, like that kind of stuff, immediately I thought elves. You know what I mean? If you look at elven lore in other things, elves have always danced too close to magic. There's so many numerous things of elves becoming like addicted to magic or destroying things with magic. I kind of feel that's how the White Walkers came to pass. And another quote that George R. R. Martin even said was that the White Walkers can do things with ice that we don't even imagine, that we can't even like perceive. And when you think about that, that doesn't really seem, creating things with ice magic or with any type of magic connotates a certain intelligence. So it's not like these things are just like ice walkers, like Frankenstein's, monsters. No, these things have an intelligence. They have an intelligence, and just like with any other society, there's going to be war, art, politics, you know, and that kind of whole thing. So I was kind of glad in the show that they did have like what we saw, like a structure or like a tribe, in which you saw the 13 figures, and then the what was displayed as the Night's King in the casting came up and then took the baby and turned him into a White Walker. And it even looked like they even have like a castle kind of thing. So hopefully, in the books we get kind of a more of a description of like who they used to be, or what their motivation is, and that kind of stuff. I don't really, I hope we get more of an answer like that, because in the show I really don't think that they're gonna give us that. I think they're gonna keep us like the basic, like, oh, these things are ghouls, they're all bad, they're evil, and they're coming to take everyone you love, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think that the White Walkers are basically closer to elves, just kind of like with people with Valerian descent, like even the Targaryens. They're a little elvish too. With the platinum silver hair and like the purple eyes and that kind of stuff. And the somewhat magic abilities. I'm not saying that Dany or Daenerys has any magic abilities, but you know, she did walk into fire and not get burned. Just saying. Just saying. There's a lot of Dany haters out there, but you got to admit some things, with her and that kind of stuff. Um, Sorry, the second thing I want to touch on was the Mercy chapter. I don't know if you guys have read the sample chapters from the Winds of Winter. However, there is a new sample chapter that was put up about a month ago by George R. R. Martin on his website. And the chapter of was a nice little girl named Mercy, who in fact is actually Arya Stark in disguise, as when we left her uh, in book 5, the kindly man was talking about sending her off to a Isambaro to do her first training. So pretty much what we see there is we see a girl named Mercy who has been training with the Mummers group and under Isambaro, which is styled himself King of the Mummers. Um, and they pick off doing a play, pretty much. I would say a biographical play called The Bloody Hand, which is pretty much about Tyrion Lannister. If you get the Easter eggs in there and that kind of stuff, and in which she gets raped and killed pretty much by the Bobono, I believe is his name, and who is playing Tyrion Lannister and that kind of stuff. So I thought that was a pretty cool. I thought that was a pretty cool little thing about them. About them showing a Tyrion Lannister kind of play, and I thought that was a really cool way that he brought in like Westeros politics and brought it over to Bravos and that kind of stuff. Um, but in this, within the chapter, they're all getting ready for the play and that kind of stuff, and then they see a envoy from Westeros that has been sent to talk to the Iron Bank, and who is this other than Kevin Lannister's own, well, the now deceased Kevin Lannister's own good father, and so he has brought some guards with him, some guards now employed from the mountain, and one of those guards ends up being one of the people on Arya's list. I don't really want to give all the spoilers away. I really don't want to give all the spoilers away. But, yeah, so it happens to be, Arya sees the envoy and that kind of stuff, and then, comments about whatever, and then also sees the guard that she recognizes as it's one of the people on her list. And, Arya, what we learn from her is that she is very, very much more in control of herself now, and she's still having the wolf dreams. She's still having some issues with trying to, with not knowing that she's a warg and such, and that kind of stuff. However, she still does not stop herself from killing him. So, but what we get to see now is an Arya that we haven't seen before. Is she actually uses her beauty and her sexuality to commit a kill. You know what I mean? So now she's a much smarter and much more dangerous assassin than where we left her, because she now knows that she's growing into someone pretty or someone men will find beautiful, and she actually uses that in this. She actually uses sexuality to get him alone and then commit a kill, which is, I think, is great, because of the fact of not only does this this allows her a way to learn about Westeros. However, let's just say for some reason she leaves with the envoy back to Westeros. This gives her a way back, and not only that, it gives her a way back into the Red Keep. And this, I did not think that there would be a feasible way for them to really kind of let Arya go back to Westeros. I mean, like unless she actually chose to go back, I didn't see a way that she was going to be able to do it. But now all of a sudden, with the envoy, oh my God, yeah, they have to talk to the Iron Bank now that Kevin's gone and da-da-da and that kind of stuff. Yeah, okay. And now she kills the guard. And that's going to create, a problem, because, that's going to be noticed. And who knows what's going to happen with the House in Black and White? I mean, for all we know, they could be like, look, you're not supposed to kill anyone, and now you're going to be gone. You're an outcast. However, this also gives her a way back. If she somehow stows away, gets another face, decides to change her face, and stows away back with the envoy back to Westeros, then all of a sudden we have a much more dangerous Arya who has actually been learning, who's been immersed in learning hiding techniques now for probably about a year and a half. You know, we'll say a year, and that kind of stuff. But still, you know, and she still remembers. You know, the funny thing is that she still remembers all the people that wronged her, and she still remembers her prayer. So I think if she sees a chance, just like she saw a chance to kill right then and there, I think that she will go back to Westeros and maybe start committing more of her revenge. But on who we will have to see, because, you know, is she going to be the one to kill Cersei? Is she going to be the one to kill Ilyn Payne? Who knows? But I definitely think that Arya in the Winds of Winter is going to be definitely a tool for Stark revenge. Sorry, that's trying to keep it between 11 and 12, 10 to 12 minutes. Thank you guys again for all the comments, for all the subscriptions. If you guys have any questions or any other theories you want me to comment on, please let me know. Until then, Valar Morghulis.